Okay, so everything happens in the console, like I said. So we have the first thing that you should look at is when you go to the console, as soon as you pass all the stuff that you've pinned up at the top, you'll get to all of the services. Like I want to get VMs, or I want to run code on cloud functions. I want to use storage. I want to use some of the databases, and then this goes off the page. It just keeps on going down and down and down because the number of products is tremendous. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff to do there. So you configure each of the products that you're going to use. Every application has a project as a container for it, and then every project has a billing account. So here's your billing where you can set up your credit card. It's pretty easy. You can have more than one billing account. You can have a home billing account. You can have a work billing account. The free trial, by the way, is another billing account that you can have. If you have a student in school, we offer education grants, so students can use our cloud for free. So that's the billing. The other item is if you are in school and you're doing projects with other students, or you're working in a work group and you have other colleagues, the IAM, or Identity Access Management tab will let you manage all the users. You can tell them what kind of roles they have. Are they a viewer? Are they an editor? Are they an owner? Things like that. And then the last part, the most important one, is the API manager. So this is where you sort of like, this is your developers console. This is where you enable all the APIs you're going to use. And it's also where you get the credentials that you're going to use to access our APIs. So that developer console looks like this. So to save you one click, you can just type console.developers.google.com, go straight here. You don't have to go to console.cloud first and then click through. And but of course, developers is a longer word, so you can kind of decide what's your trade-off, a mouse click or a couple of extra keys. So here on the dev console, there's a couple of things that you're going to do. So the first thing is this dashboard you see here. So this basically gives you some application statistics, like how much traffic is your app getting, how many errors is your app generating, and roughly how long does it take for your app to respond to your users. And then down below is a list of all the different APIs you've enabled, and it also tells you some sort of like similar traffic information, but split out according to what APIs you have. And then you can disable those APIs if you decide not to use those anymore for your apps. So that's the dashboard. And then the second thing is the library. So when you click on that tab, it'll let you enable and disable which Google APIs you want to use. And then the last tab is the credential, where you go and create your OAuth credentials or your API key if you're using an unrestricted API. But anyway, you create all your credentials at the credentials tab. And then generally, if you create something that's OAuth related, we're going to ask you to download a file that you're going to keep with your application code. So they can take that data, your client ID, client secret, or your private key pair, and exchange it for an access token with which you can use to talk to our APIs with. So if you want sort of like a longer overview on this, I made a video for it. Oh, by the way, anytime you see a blue box, it means I made a video for it, just to help you go back and review it. So that's a developer's console. So again, most of my demos are going to be in Python and JavaScript tonight, but we support lots of different programming languages. If you're only going to be using GCP and none of the other Google APIs, then you can go ahead and download client libraries for whatever products you want to use at the bottom link here. However, if you're going to be using non-cloud APIs like G Suite APIs, Maps APIs, YouTube APIs, Analytics APIs, then you have to download what we call these platform client libraries, because only the GCP products have a product client library. And for those that don't, you have to use a platform client library, which works for multiple APIs. A lot of times I just use the platform libraries for GCP tools as well too, just because I'm moving back and forth between cloud and non-cloud. It's just easier if I keep my code consistent. But if I only have a GCP only code, then I go and use the product client libraries because they're the newest, they're the most maintained, and they're the most specific for each product. But anyway, here's a list of all the different languages that we support. So there's, we support most major languages that developers use in industry today.